struggled to raise money, buy a home, and later on suffered the auctioneer's hammer. Let's hear this interesting story. Karibu sana on the show, and thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
And who is Warigia?
Warigia is a mother. I'm a firstborn in a small family. We're just two of us, me and my brother. And I grew up up country. I was brought up by my grandparents, my grandmother specifically.
Wow, so you're Shosho's girl.
I'm Shosho's girl, proper one.
And you know, being brought up by Shoshos is so dearing because they teach us so much. They teach us certain things that you can never learn elsewhere. Yeah. They anchor you in Christ.
Yes, they are, what I tell my friends is when you're brought up by your grandparents, they are professors of life. So they teach you certain lessons that nobody else would ever teach you. They teach you the value of hard work. They teach you the value of leaning on God and integrity, honesty, and just being yourself and fighting for others. Social justice. I believe in social justice.
So take us through your school journey.
Oh, my school journey, I started in the village, a school where I used to walk barefoot. Then I went to a boarding school. After that, I went to another school, still in the rural area, St. Francis Mangu. And then I was invited to the University of Nairobi.
Wow. Wow.
Then I did the course, Land Economics, and that enabled me to become what I am today, a valuer.
Fantastic. And how has your journey been as a professional in the real estate sector?
It's been wonderful. It's been a learning lesson. At least I have been able to make an impact in the society because I served in the professional body, ISK, and you were involved in the National Land Policy formulation and the Constitution Chapter 5. So that has been exciting. And currently there is a task force that I sit on that is reviewing the Valuers Act. Yeah.
And let's talk about your home ownership journey. I know that when you reach of age, you start being nudged by your own self that this is the time to own a home.
Yes.
How was that conversation within yourself?
Within myself, that was about 10 years ago when I started feeling I needed to own a home, and I started making moves that enabled me to actually make the step. And I worked for a bank, and they give you mortgage facilities as a staff member. I think my biggest challenge was raising the deposit, the 10% deposit.
Let's go back. How did you identify the house, and what did you see in that house?
Oh, I think at the time I was driven by the price. It is what I could afford from my salary. Now when I reflect back, I think that shouldn't have been the driver. I should have been driven by what do I really need, not by what I can afford. Yeah. So that if I was to do it again, that's what I would review that, because I was driven by what can I afford. So I got an old house. So the biggest challenge I had was raising the deposit. Stamp duty. Stamp duty was twice, because you pay the stamp duty on the value, and then you pay stamp duty on the mortgage. And then valuers fees,
legal fees.
I think there was also commitment fees.
Yes, commitment fees.
There's commitment fees.
So how did you raise that?
I was lucky at the time. I think I had sold a car, so I had the money. So I used the deposit from the car to pay for the deposit.
Wow.
Yeah. Just to complete for you though, so after I got my mortgage, I lost my job.
So you moved into your new house, and then you lost your job.
I lost my job. When I lost my job, I was not able to raise the monies to pay off the mortgage, so I was auctioned.
So you couldn't service the loan?
I couldn't service the mortgage. So
then you were auctioned?
I was auctioned.
Ups.
So the auctioneering process was a painful one. Given the...
So did they give you enough notice, grace period? Because I know that you can also enter into a private treaty. Did you look at all those scenarios?
Yes, I looked at all those scenarios. Today, if I was to do it again, I would do it differently. Like I said, everything you do, you learn.
So the auctioneers came, And it was a very painful journey?
Yes.
What next?
So the house was sold, and so now I am ready to buy another house. What would I do differently? Is first I need to be very clear that I have the deposits. If I'm going to take a mortgage, where will the repayments come from? And I would like to take lesser mortgage, so you raise more amount. That's
of the deposit.
Of the
payment
purchase price. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you can save longer, raise more money, so that then you're taking mortgage that you can be able to actually sustain the payments.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Warigia, let's go back to the auctioneering process.
Yes.
How was that? So one day you got a letter. Had you talked to the bank? Had you tried to negotiate that?
Yes, I did. I went to the bank. I tried to negotiate. I didn't have the money, but such is life. Auctioneers are also made for people. Yeah.
Why didn't you try and sell it off private treaty?
I did, but I didn't get a buyer within the duration that is given. Is it the 90 days that you're given to either repay or bring somebody who can buy it off? Wow. It was an experience. I went for the auction myself. I sat there. I had the hammer and all that whole process. I was involved. It was such an experience. So the home ownership journey, I have been involved from the beginning all the way to the end. Mine is not a happy story, but
it's the truth.
It's the truth, and you learn from it. Yeah, you learn from it.
So what would you do differently today?
What would I do differently? First is I would plan better. I would know where my deposits are coming from, where is my mortgage coming from, and then I would do the loan. I would repay it quicker. Yeah.
Okay. I know that we have some viewers who maybe right now auctioneers, they've gotten the auctioneer letter, they've gotten the 90-day notice. What would you advise them to do? Because I know that when you get that letter, first of all, you get into a shock.
Yes.
So you don't think
rightly. Yes.
You don't think
yes.
You don't think through things.
Yes.
But I'm sure there is a solution and there's a way out other than the hammer. What would you advise them?
First and foremost is it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Then number two, walk to the bank, negotiate. Banks, institutions are run by individuals. They are run by people. Go and talk to them. See what can you get? How can they give you a moratorium? What can they do for you? And then you speak to Nancy to help you sell it.
Yes.
Yes, as quickly as possible. Yes. But more importantly, because it has got psychological impact. People get affected, you go into a depression and things like those. It's not the end of the world, even if you're auctioned.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you moved out after the auction?
Yes.
At what point did you actually go and pick your things and move out? Or did they auction plus your furniture?
No. Yeah, way before. Once you get the notice letter, you start preparing yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there are people who refuse to move.
Then that becomes a rigorous process. It becomes an embarrassing process for you. Because if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, girl.
Planning better.
Girl, you've gone through some stuff.
What doesn't kill you
makes you better. Yes, makes you better.
Yeah.
Next week, Warigia continues her story.